Hi everybody, this is Thaisa Cueva and I will be talking about the book I chose for the Theodore Award, and it's Goodnight Owl by Greg Pizzoli. So this book is very infantile. I love it. It's very fresh. The story is very cute because it includes a fictional story of an owl as the main character. And the owl's character actually is a little impulsive and irrational throughout the story. The settings in the owl's house and the interaction between the owl and the noise begins negative but slowly turns positive, which leaves kind of a bittersweet feeling. So the story begins as the owl wanting to go to bed, and the owl constantly hears the word squeak. So the owl's confused. They think that the owl thinks that maybe somebody was at a door, but nobody was at a door. After that, goes back to bed and hears the noise squeak again. So then he's like, maybe it's the cupboard. So he goes and checks the cupboard, empties everything, and still nothing. So he goes back to bed. He's ready to sleep, and then he says, "Good night, owl." The moment he says that and closes his eyes is when he hears the noise again, squeak. And so he's like, man, maybe it must be under the floor. So he keeps looking. He pulls up the floorboards one by one, but he cannot find where the noise comes from. So goes back to bed. He goes back to bed, and then he hears squeak again. But this time, Owl is getting frustrated. And the owl thinks it's the roof. It goes and destroys the roof. So then he looks at the stars and is falling asleep, and then slowly gets very tired but paranoid at the same time, as you can tell. The illustrations are very fresh, very sweet. There's a lot of blue, yellow, and the way it's drawn is very infantile and simple. I really like that. Anyway, so the story goes on, and so the owl waits because the owl knows the moment closes his eyes, there's going to be a noise again, which is squeak. Squeak this time. Owl gets very, very upset, thinks it's in the walls, goes ahead and destroys the whole house. In the end, it's just the owl and the bed. And then the owl notices it was the mouse the whole time. So then he says, well, good night, noise, and they smile and then go to sleep together. So it's a bittersweet story. I really like as well the illustrations. They have a lot of pastel colors. The drawings are very infantile but also minimalistic. Very simple, very easy. At the end, they're friendly toward each other, and I like that. So my personal response to this book is I think it's a great book to teach children to be understanding, patient, kind. The owl was not patient because the owl destroyed everything, even the house. But the good quality the owl has is kindness and forgiveness. At the end, we can tell that he was okay with the noise, with the mouse, and they both went to sleep all happy. So this book also reminds me of many actually different personal experiences. When I was a kid, I would act just like the owl. I would get frustrated easy. If something would keep bothering or a child would keep bothering me, I would lash out. Now, of course, as adults, you're more controlled. You control what you say and how you act much better. So it reminds me of a lot of the kids I used to see at my mom's kindergarten, how when somebody would take their toy, they would lash out, they would get very emotional and irrational. Parts of this book even made me giggle, so I really like this book. I think it'd be a good book for children. I think it also is very good to teach children to have good control of their feelings, because maybe the issue they're going through is smaller than anything else, and reminding themselves that every little issue can only have a little bit of an impact in their life. And of course, children, they will always struggle with controlling their emotions, but it's a good start. I think it's a good start if we read this book. The activity I had in mind for this book, it's for ages from 3 to 5, so it's very young. I would, of course, read the book first, let the kids see the pictures, and I would read it slowly. And then I would make or ask the kids to share with their partner the one time they really got frustrated and impatient. I would let them participate, and I would ask a couple of them to come in front and talk about their experience. For the little older children, the 5-year-old children, I would ask them to paint a picture of the owl and the mouse sleeping together, so like the ending of the story. I think I would like to concentrate on the ending because it's more positive. So like I said, this book is great to teach kids to be patient and not to get frustrated and destroy everything, but to realize that every little problem is very little and it's something that will pass eventually. I like the illustrations, very simple, infantile. I like the pastel colors. I think this book was sweet. It was very, very nice to look at. So this is it. I recommend this book to everybody. Goodnight Owl by Greg Pizzoli.